Hello once again. The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, in partnership with Uganda Revenue Authority and the Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, officially launched the National Budget Month today. Some of the objectives discussed include rebranding the ministry's image and articulating the services that the ministry offers, increasing publicity for the national budget through increased stakeholder participation, and improving accountability and service delivery through promotion of budget transparency activities. Here is more on that.
You know, hitting the target, actually we are achieving beyond the target which we set ourselves. Now, of course, as the media and of course as civil society, we'll also be interested in getting your feedback, because there are quite a number of projects which are implemented, and this is actually the partnership we want. So we want you also on your own initiatives actually to go out in the public and find out what extent the projects which we pronounce are being implemented. On our side, we definitely have a monitoring unit, and we follow up on each of these projects, and we know a number of these projects are definitely being implemented, and we are definitely sure that by the end of the financial year, many of these projects will have been accomplished.
These kind of changes in the budget, especially for members of parliament, demoralizes the rest of the civil servants who actually access money from the consultative fund. I mean, we have our teachers, we have our soldiers, we have our medical personnel. Teachers are already on strike. We have our interns in Morago who are always asking for 600,000 shillings a month. And really, I think in terms of our civil service morale, this definitely decreases the morale. Lastly is that when you look at this kind of allocation, 63.4 billion, for us when we were calculating, we found out actually that on an average an MP is going to get 140 million extra for this financial year. Now, how many of those other things are we missing out? How many unfunded priorities in this country do we have that we have not put resources simply because we don't have the money?
Thank you very much for that question. I think your question has come at the right time. You remember we had strategies that we have laid out for the next financial year, and those were some of the strategies that were left in the previous financial year. So when you achieve a growth rate of about 6-7%, it's an indication that those strategies that had been put in place are actually the right ones. Hence, the budget is actually meeting its objectives and target. Population is a factor. Growth of the economy is yet another. If the economy grows, let's say at 7-8%, and the population grows at the rate of 3%, in net terms, probably the growth we are looking is about 4%. So, yes, that's the target that we wish as a country, but certainly there are certain other factors that must be taken into consideration when you are computing the middle income status. Because when you talk about middle income status, that figure of $1,000 is GDP divided by the population. Remember, we have in our budget framework paper, we lay strategies in terms of how to grow the economy. And one of them is to achieve a growth of GDP growth of about 7%. So to be able to underpin that, you need to put up strategies that will help us to drive the economy. And one of them, of course, is that you need to focus on those growth sectors, such as agriculture, the services sector, agro-processing, of course, infrastructure, which is very, very important, and all that, of course, leads into the growth of the economy. So that's